Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller-Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger & Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. 5 years after temporarily shutting down over racist statements by one of the vendors, the Bloomington Farmers Market is still trying to recover.
I reached out and said, why? Why don't you come shop anymore? And the answer pretty universally was because I was made not to feel welcome.
Since then, multiple markets have sprung up in the city. Like many states in the country, Indiana is facing a critical nursing shortage, so schools like Ivy Tech are increasing their nursing programs.
That's one of the really unique things about Ivy Tech, to give really as many people an opportunity as possible. And again, to fill that workforce need.
Leaders say the state needs to graduate 1,300 nurses a year to meet demand. And a trio of former Hoosiers are back on campus as part of the crew for the week-long run of Les Misérables. We'll have these stories plus the latest news from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Bloomington's Farmers Market turns 50 this year. At one time, it was the largest market in the state. 5 years ago, the racist views of one vendor were exposed. The market hasn't been the same since. The city temporarily suspended the farmers market at the time, and multiple markets emerged in the aftermath. Benta Boutier reports on Bloomington's market scene today.
Customers pick out produce and mingle over baked goods and coffee at a farmer's market in downtown Bloomington. A trombone troupe warms up around 10 a.m.
We have some vibrancy here, and that's what we're striving to create.
5 years ago, the city temporarily shut its market down over concerns for public safety. The white supremacist views of one of its vendors, Sarah Dye, became public, sparking protests over her presence. Since then, Dye and her husband have shut down their booth and sold their farm.
We had some major distractions that have since been somewhat dealt with, or we've resolved that, and now we're moving forward and not backward.
The city market used to be the lone market in Bloomington. Now there are at least 3. On the east side of town, the People's Cooperative Market, founded in 2020, operates out of First United Church. That market delivers produce to people in need through its community-sponsored box program.
People's Market is for people interested in investing in the food system in an equitable way.
2 of its founding members, Lauren McAllister and Jada B., say issues of racism brought to the surface in 2019 still exist.
It's been disappointing to watch so many people shift socially but not individually, especially when we consider how much money has been brought into the county and the city. There are still less black businesses than there should be proportionally. There are still a huge gap between black median pay and white median pay.
Some of these troubles came from within, B says. The Indiana State Department of Health canceled an $800,000 grant with the market. B says the state canceled the grant after certain members voiced internal conflicts with the People's Market to the state, rather than resolving issues internally through mediation. In June, an IDOH spokesperson said over email that during normal grant oversight, it determined there were expenses submitted that were not allowed. It canceled the funding with $315,000 left in the grant. WFIU WTIU News submitted records requests to the state in May for the market's expense reports and has not received a response. The state has yet to reallocate the remaining grant funds, which were given originally by the USDA. McAllister manages several grants for the market and says the Department of Health never offered technical assistance for a considerably large grant. B adds the state also canceled the funding before invoices and expenses could be reconciled.
I don't think either one of us would disagree that mistakes on our part were made. I think that what we're disagreeing is about how little help and support was given from IDOH, was given from our former colleagues, was given from the farmers themselves in many cases.
For McAllister and B, this has had a lasting effect on People's Market's reputation and its ability to obtain future grants. The group held a transparency session over the summer to explain the issues. Susan Welsand helped found the People's Market. She left last year over concerns that farmers were not being paid for produce on time and reported her concerns to the IDOH.
I started to wonder about where the regular customers were that did not come anymore, thinking about how many vendors had left, how many volunteers, other planning committee members. I reached out and said, why? Why don't you come shop anymore? And the answer pretty universally was because I was made not to feel welcome, which was the exact opposite of what we were trying to create.
Wiesland now sells at the Woolry Market, a third market which was set up after issues at the City Market. Average monthly attendance at the City Market was more than 33,000 in 2018. In 2019, it dropped to approximately 14,300. During the pandemic, those numbers dropped even further to 4,800 in 2020. Attendance at the City Market is picking up, but is still about a third of what it was in 2018. The lower attendance and revenue have hurt, according to Michael Hicks. Because of decreased attendance, he sold produce at both the City and Woolry Market last summer.
We have to have 2 setups for each market. We have to pack and organize. It takes more effort to do that. We have to pay fees at both markets. We have to pay market fees. We have to pay meat fees. We have to pay, so it's more money.
Hicks says costs have gone up exponentially for farmers, but people do not want to pay more for food. He is in the process of closing Living Roots Farm for personal reasons. Boone says the City Market aims to be a Saturday destination. Multiple markets mean customers have choices. McAllister and B say attendance at the People's Market has never been high, but is right-sized for the people they serve.
It seems like it would make sense to join with larger entities like maybe the City Market or maybe the City of Bloomington itself. However, when your values don't align, then you are either the one compromising or they're the one compromising constantly. And the city isn't going to compromise.
B and McAllister say the market wants to maintain ownership and participation in its food system. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ben Taboutier.
This winter, the People's Market is moving to a once-in-a-month in-person schedule, and the market is building a greenhouse at First United Church and will offer plots to the community to use year-round. Well, Indiana has some of the worst infant and maternal mortality rates in the country, and those numbers are even worse among Black Hoosiers and in rural areas. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith reports Indiana's candidates for governor were asked how to address that problem by the Indiana University Public Policy Institute.
Republican Mike Braun's approach to solving the state's infant and maternal mortality rates is rooted in lowering health care costs.
Generally getting better ways that we actually run our own lives to keep ourselves healthy and then not demand expensive, immediate remediation. You'll actually get at the roots of things like infant and maternal mortality.
Democrat Jennifer McCormick says while healthcare monopolies are part of the problem, she points to Indiana's abortion ban, which she says makes it harder for doctors to practice.
It really does not incentivize the most talented to come to Indiana or to stay in Indiana.
Libertarian Donald Rainwater says the state must address professional licensing to allow more midwives to practice. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
McCormick also says Indiana needs to refocus its economic development strategy by prioritizing people, not just businesses. McCormick's proposals include more local input into economic development strategies and better support for existing Indiana businesses, notably smaller ones. She also wants to spend more on tourism and quality of place projects like affordable housing and cultural amenities.
The blank checkbook and the question of spending and the lack of transparency and accountability and the question of our natural resources. There are a lot of pieces to that we need to rein in.
McCormick also wants to reduce the length of time that new businesses receive tax breaks for locating in Indiana. Well, we're joined now by Ethan Sandwise for more headlines from around the state. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Joe. The Clear Creek Culvert Reconstruction Project in Bloomington is behind schedule and may not be finished until the end of the year. Indiana Avenue has been partially closed since earlier this year for the project. It was supposed to reopen by the time classes started. Now it might not reopen until the end of October. The project aims to mitigate flooding and improve storm drainage downtown.
We want to channel that in a controlled way. So that's what the culvert aims to do, is take the stormwater that's draining into Campus River, direct it underneath downtown, and then have it come out there at Clear Creek.
The city reopened the Von Lee parking lot a couple of weeks ago after inserting a portion of the culvert underneath. Equipment for November's election is operating as it should, according to testing at the Monroe County Election Office. The county election supervisor and contractor B&L IT Services scanned test ballots to ensure accurate counting of votes.
We do over and under counts to ensure that the scanner picks that up to make sure that nobody's getting voted for more than one time on a single ballot.
Scanners recognize when nothing is marked for a race on a ballot. They also flag instances of multiple marks on a ballot for one race. The latest test was the third for the machines. Early voting begins October 8th. The general election is November 5th. The Monroe County Commissioner's long-anticipated decision on a site for the new county jail has been postponed again. Commissioner Julie Thomas says she wants more information about a site on Vernal Pike, which is preferred by the Ellettsville and Bloomington Chambers of Commerce. Commissioner Penny Giffens voted against delaying the decision, saying that considering the current jail's deteriorating condition, time is running out.
We have not rushed this process, and every single delay has both a fiscal cost to it and a human cost to it.
The Vernal Pike land is cheaper, but it would require more land surveys and the voluntary annexation of county residents living between there and Bloomington in order to install sewers. The county is required to build a new jail after a lawsuit by the ACLU, which said conditions in the jail violate inmates' constitutional rights. Nearly 300 schools are hitting the state's reading proficiency targets of 95%. Officials and educators from around Indiana celebrated those schools Wednesday at the State House. Still, education leaders say there is more work to be done.
We've had 3 years moving the needle positively in reading, and our focus is totally on continuing to do that. And we're going to invest in the tactics that are working for schools and for our students.
Jenner says the state will continue to invest in literacy initiatives, and some schools are currently piloting high-quality tutoring and summer programs. The Indiana Department of Education will likely ask for more funding if those pilots are successful. Indiana has been working since 2021 to increase the number of special education teachers in the state. Now more than 1,600 people have earned or are in the process of earning a special education teaching license through 2 different state programs, iSeal and Asset.
For people to graduate programs and stay in special education, that is a huge win for the state of Indiana and our students and families.
iSeal provides scholarships and financial assistance to current and aspiring educators, while Asset helps licensed educators add special education endorsements to their credentials. Terre Haute's singing janitor won season 19 of America's Got Talent Tuesday night. Richard Goodall also won the hearts of America and thrilled teachers and students at West Vigo Middle School.
Richard is a very humble person. And what you see on TV, he's just like that in person. So it makes it very easy for us here at West Vigo to support him and to want to be a part of this whole process with him.
Terre Haute and the Vigo County School Corporation hosted a coming home celebration for Goodall this morning.
Ethan, I saw a little bit of that on Twitter this morning. He looked like they had a good crowd there for him. I'm not surprised. Thank you so much. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. Ivy Tech is increasing the size of its nursing school to help fill demand as the state faces a critical shortage of nurses. And Les Mis wraps up an 8-show run this weekend, and 3 IU graduates are part of the cast and crew. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
No world is truly unchanging.
This is nature at its absolute finest.
Our daughter, she's gone missing. I should leave this alone.
But you won't.
He's doing things no one had ever done before, and that is astounding.
It's absolutely mind-boggling.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Well, our organization, Radio and Television Services, of which WTIU is a part of, is undergoing a leadership transition. Executive Director Brad Kimmel and Chief Financial Officer Christina Leroux were terminated on Wednesday. In a meeting with station leadership, Indiana University Provost Raul Shrivastov told staff that Kimmel was not taking RTVS in the right direction. Jay Kincaid, who was named the interim leader, says the change will not affect the station's relationship with the university.
It won't affect your independence at all. You will still be, you will still do the jobs that you do. You will still report on the university. You will still do the things that you do, whether it's positive or negative.
Kincaid says he doesn't know the details of the termination, but hasn't heard of any allegations of financial misconduct. Kimmel declined repeated attempts for comment. 3 Indiana University alumni are part of the cast and staff at the IU Auditorium this week for the national tour of Les Misérables. We caught up with one about his experience with one of the most celebrated musicals in theater history. With Clayton Baumgarth, Pat Bean has this report.
Andrew Marks Mon performs as the Bishop of Digne, Josh Norton plays trumpet in the orchestra, and James Moore is the tour's music supervisor. Moore attended the Jacobs School of Music as an undergrad, then as a graduate student. He says he volunteered at the auditorium when he was in school so he could see touring shows for free.
I just got the schedule. Some of the rehearsals, it said during the day, to Musical Arts Center 036, and I remember that room. And I haven't been in there in decades.
Part of the challenge of working on an epic show like Les Misérables is managing its size and scale. It takes 11 semi-trailers to move the show from city to city, with one trailer entirely filled with costumes. There's also maintaining a crew upwards of 90, including roughly 30 cast members.
This is a show that's 38 years old, and we're still able to come around the country and touch so many people. And we also love how, people say they saw it 20 years ago, and now they get to take their kids to see the show.
The 8 performances this week in Bloomington mark the end of the second year of touring for this production. 9 company members will be replaced before the next stop.
The show will be very different next week, I believe, in Louisville, than it is this week. And it's different voices, different physical types. And that keeps it very interesting for me.
For Indiana Newsdesk, with Clayton Baumgarth, I'm Pat Bean.
The final performance of Les Mis in Bloomington is Sunday night. Well, like many states, Indiana is facing a critical shortage of nurses, and it will soon need thousands more to care for an aging population. Colleges play an important role as nursing programs grow. Higher education reporter Aubrey Wright has this story.
Ivy Tech Community College Bloomington is increasing the size of its nursing program. There will be more options, more students, and better training labs for the Marchant School of Nursing. The biggest upgrade is a 4,000 square foot training lab with 18 hospital beds.
The quality of care has just gone up immeasurably.
President Eric Coyne says the training lab is renewing energy, and nursing student Jacqueline Schatz says the new equipment and medical mannequins are a privilege. Schatz hopes to work in emergency medicine.
This way it gives us that real hands-on experience before we go to our clinicals.
Ivy Tech's lab was possible thanks to a $1.2 million grant from Indiana University Health. This community impact investment grant aims to bring more nurses to South Central Indiana.
That's one of the really unique things about Ivy Tech, to give really as many people an opportunity as possible. So, and again, to fill that workforce need that we have at IU Health and really healthcare providers across the state.
That's a problem Schatz wants to help address. She has experience in the military and as an EMT, but Schatz knew it was time to become a nurse when she worked in a Vincennes hospital during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I could see a lot of nurses struggling, like our critical care unit needed help and our med-surg unit was running short. So I was like, okay, this is something that I could do to help out, because everybody needs a nurse at some point.
Indiana needs 5,000 more nurses by 2031. That's according to the Indiana Hospital Association. The baby boomer generation is retiring and will need more health care in the future, and the COVID-19 pandemic pushed some nurses out of the industry. The supply isn't matching the demand.
We're in a period of stabilization.
New laws in Indiana, such as the Nursing Indiana Back to Health law, make the nursing industry more flexible. They help colleges graduate more nurses, and Van Zee thinks Indiana is in a good position to fix the pipeline.
The majority of students who I teach are from Indiana, and the majority will stay in Indiana.
IU nursing lecturer Samantha Eads says patients will feel a nursing shortage in big and small ways. Their nurses might be rushed or burnt out while they care for more people than normal. They'll have longer wait times when they need care, and teachers are having to adapt too.
And then also, from an educator standpoint, helping students build that resiliency before they go out into the workforce so that they know how to fill their cup.
To Eads, the conversation should also be about representation.
I think when we think about nursing shortage, we absolutely have to think numbers, but we also have to think people.
She's passionate about community outreach and encourages students to build personal connections.
Because the more nursing students and nursing professionals that we have who are representing the communities they care about, the better off we'll be.
IU is also increasing class sizes. The School of Nursing enrolled the largest beginning cohort ever this fall with about 450 students. And it's upgrading lab space thanks to a $16 million grant from IU Health.
And when thinking about what I could do for a career for the rest of my life, there was no other better choice than nursing, where I could talk about fitness, health-related things, and also educate patients at the same time.
IU nursing students, Ricky Iwase and Sydney Shones, both experienced working in a hospital where nurses were stretched thin. But they say nursing is still a good path. Shones and Iwase plan to go into critical care after graduation.
Knowing that I will have a job when I graduate is very relieving, but it can be intimidating knowing that we might be put in situations where we're going to have a lot of patients to take care of, and we might not always have all the staffing resources to handle that.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Aubrey Wright.
The Amped at IU exhibit will display historically significant guitars from the Jim Irsay collection and celebrate the history of guitars. Isabella Vesperini has this report.
The goal of the exhibit is to highlight guitars that have rarely been seen publicly.
The emphasis is on being able to tell a lot of the early history of guitars, and allows us to show things that were probably familiar to people.
On display are guitars played by the Beatles and Bruce Springsteen, as well as a pickup winder that generated voltage to amplify guitars in the 1950s. The exhibit includes a Martin guitar dating back to the 1850s and a 1910 U-harp guitar that often accompanied mandolins.
It has strings that you would almost play more harp-like that don't have frets, and then a fretted area. So it kind of looks like a double-necked guitar you'd see these days, only one of the sides doesn't have frets.
Another unusual guitar on display is the 1969 Ampeg Dan Armstrong Lucite guitar. The guitar is see-through and weighs nearly 10 pounds.
We've all seen them on television before, but you haven't ever really gotten to see them up close, and you can really get sort of a feeling of what they really look like especially in color, because a lot of times the footage is in black and white. And then also just like the three-dimensionality of the object.
Instruments from Traditional Arts Indiana and the IU Jacobs School of Music will also be available.
Put them in conversation with the guitars next door, with the Irsay guitars. So you get sort of a larger history of guitars beyond just what Irsay has collected.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Isabella Vesperini.
And the Indiana football team looks to go 5-0 for the first time in more than half a century Saturday when they host Maryland. The Hoosiers have already racked up more wins than last season, but first-year head coach Curt Cignetti says winning is nothing new to his staff and the new players he brought into the program.
We're used to being successful, this staff that I brought in, the players that are here. And you know, when you win, it's about maintaining your edge and avoiding complacency and not having the warm fuzzies.
Saturday's game kicks off at noon on the Big Ten Network. That's the end of this program. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller-Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger & Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.